Bitcoin, in my opinion, is setting up for a huge move. Now, I know people have been panicking. I know people are saying the market top is in, but it's simply not true. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why that is. And more importantly, when we're going to see a massive final move for Bitcoin. So make sure you hit that like button, smash it up to all-time highs, and don't forget to check out some of the links in the description. Massively helps out the channel. But with that being said, it's time to hit that like button and get into the video. So let's start here. Everyone calling the market over. Everyone's seen we've had a couple of red days on the top of our all-time high push. But interestingly enough, the first day here in November showing a negative 1%. Now, it's only 2 times in history that for the life of Bitcoin, we've actually seen a positive first 3 days of November. Now, you'll remember lots of people were talking the same in October. We entered October and we saw a bit of a dump and everybody said the bull market was over, and we ended up finishing about 11% up on the month. And I think November will play out exactly the same. And there's a very big reason why I think November could be even bigger than we predict. There's lots of stuff going on from the macroeconomic side of things. And more importantly, there are lots of people right now buying Bitcoin. The only people that are not in is retail. They are going to come, trust me, but they're probably going to come when the price is much higher. So we'll keep you posted on exactly where this sits. But if you look at the previous bull market, back in 2020, the first 2 days were red. Back in 2016, we actually saw a positive move, however, an 8% correction, wiping out the gains from the first 2 days. So history tells us that even in bull markets, we generally see the start of November being pretty poor. However, once you get into mid and towards the end, it's incredibly bullish. So what are we going on? Well, lots of people are now talking about BTC dominance. We'll take a look at that in my Bitcoin chart in just a minute, but it actually still is holding up at around 60%. We want to see this come down a little bit. This would allow a little bit of capital to flow into altcoins, give people some opportunity to get in. At the minute, Bitcoin is being pumped, and it's being pumped by institutions. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And other than that, we have a big announcement. Again, a political announcement. This is Vivek Ramaswamy, his pivot on his management business, moving $1.7 billion, which is going to include some of that to Bitcoin. This is a partnership, more importantly, a connection with Strive, and they offer true financial freedom to American clients, and they are now stacking Bitcoin. Very interesting. Not only do you have the big ETF products, we are now seeing a more pro-crypto view from many more actually in the Republican Party. Apparently JD Vance earning between $250,000 and $500,000 worth of Bitcoin as well. So this is very interesting, as we know that potentially Donald Trump will be the pro-cryptocurrency candidate, albeit Kamala Harris hasn't really said much. The reality is she could also be certainly in favor of digital currency and how we can more broaden the acceptance in the US. So 2 very important points as we walk through this. Now, more importantly, with the US election days away, there actually has been an interesting open letter to both presidential candidates from blockchain infrastructure firm Paxos. In fact, Charles Cascalera has issued an open letter to Vice President Kamala Harris, former Donald Trump, on Tuesday, urging immediate regulatory reform to support blockchain and digital assets in the US. The whole country right now, in my opinion, is absolutely striving to be way more adopting of cryptocurrency and digital assets. We saw earlier Metaplanet, the second biggest mover in the Japanese stock market. Why? Because they hold Bitcoin. MicroStrategy outperforming Nvidia. So the reality is, if you're a business mining individual with a business in the UK or the US, right now, Bitcoin is your friend. It's absolutely supporting the narrative of pushing your share price up, thus generating more revenue and business for your clients, and I think is important. He says, quote, "The industry is vital to the US, yet it operates at a speed of the post office, while the rest of the economy is rapidly innovated by successfully using technology and the internet." Now, get ready, because I've got a brilliant XRP update for you guys, specifically talking about innovation and technology very soon. But what we do know is there is an absolute desire to be more accepting of digital currency, and this can only be good news when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, you may be thinking, well, 2bit, the price has gone down. Why is the price down today? Well, that's not good. Well, I'm going to add a little bit of fuel to the fire, because BlackRock today buying 4,500 Bitcoin, bringing their total accumulation for the last 7 days to $34,500, thousand Bitcoin, which is absolutely wild. If you think about that, it's, let's say, an average price of 70,000, it suddenly starts to become a pretty big number. And this is the reality here, that at $2.4 billion, they are going heavy on Bitcoin. Now, BlackRock doesn't get to be BlackRock if it didn't know what was coming with the market. And interestingly enough, we see some of the other ones selling off, but BlackRock right now are buying the dip. They're taking your cheap cryptocurrency that you're prepared to sell, and they are stacking their bags. And I think this is a lot of people are missing this. These are huge volumes. These are huge bags. And I think this is why we absolutely believe Bitcoin is ready to break to the upside and start to send. So let's take a look at what's going on the chart. Now, we've just flipped into a brand new day here in the UK. But interestingly enough, this support line we've drawn there, 69,000 on the money, is an incredibly strong support line. It was resistance. You can see here that twice we broke this on the daily, and then the third time where we eventually went through with volume. Now this resistance line becomes a key support. And interestingly enough, retested yesterday with this solid bounce could now signify, particularly if the polls indicate that there's going to be more of a Trump victory, that we start to head on up. Are we going to truly see a retest of all-time highs pre-election? I'm not sure. We know people are risk adverse. That's why we see the stock market generally performing okay. We actually see the S&P and the NASDAQ rallied a little bit over the course of Friday. So I think lots of people are risk averse ahead of what may be a critical election, not only for the country, but for the cryptocurrency community as well. All eyes, I'm sure, will be on Tuesday. It's going to be super volatile, but if you fancy trading it, check out the link to MEXC in the description. $8,000 worth of new sign-up bonuses, as well as a 10% rebate to every trade you make. If you're missing out on that, then you're missing out on a lot. So do check out that link to the description. Sign up. It's totally free, and you can be trading within minutes ahead of this absolute monumental bull market. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think we see a rally? Is the weekend going to be crazy? And what's your price predictions for the election coming on Tuesday? Are we going to see a pump or a dump? Let me know in the comments as always down below. And thank you so much for watching the video. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.